Hey ladies and gentlemen, this is Javier with The Real Javier Novoa. I did come to the hospital today to accompany a relative for a relatively minor appointment, so nothing to worry about there. It was just a routine appointment. But I was just coming here and observing the sights and observing some of the patients, and it brought me back to the Stoics and what the Stoics said about reckon up your chief blessings and your assets, and then think about what it would be like if you were deprived of those. And of course, we all have great blessings and great assets, which we either take no notice of at all, or we don't utilize them to the full extent. And it's actually a good thing that we don't utilize them to their full extent, because that means there's room for improvement. And in some of these assets or attributes that are really bottlenecks and are not meeting the demand of the market, a small change in the performance of that, a small tiny improvement in that, can yield astronomical and exponential results. So this is indeed good news. Just the topic that I was ruminating over today, and whenever I get in an environment like this, a hospital or something like that, I always think about Stoicism. And I remember what Marcus Aurelius and Ryan Holiday wrote a great book entitled by this title, and that is The Obstacle is the Way. And I just wanted to offer you some inspiration in that regard. The obstacle is the way, ladies and gentlemen. As Marcus Aurelius said, whatever is thrown into the fire consumes that and becomes stronger in that. So a lot of times in our projects, we're going to hit up against resistance, either inner or outer. And these are basically stem from energetic blocks. And the more we can iron out those energetic blocks, the fewer the obstacles are. But when we hit an obstacle, sometimes we then try to face the obstacle head on and struggle against the obstacle. Of course, we don't face it head on. We give tools in this course for how to face it indirectly and to manipulate it indirectly. And we will go into that in our videos and the tools that we lay out here. But just from an energetic point of view, when you run into an obstacle or a block on your path, the first reaction that you should have is you should rejoice. You should say, yes, here's an obstacle. Here's another chance to exercise the attributes that I've been developing, the virtues that I've been developing, and it's illuminating and lighting up my path. I remember a great philosopher or motivational speaker who once said that the cave which you fear to enter holds your treasure. And this is really true, because Stephen Pressfield also talked about your resistance acts as a compass. Whatever that area of greatest resistance is, that is your greatest calling. And that is your path of greatest benefit. It would simply logically have to be that way, because the path of greatest resistance will yield the greatest rewards. And this ties back into theory of constraints that we were talking about, whereby when you make a minor improvement in a bottleneck, the returns are astronomical, ladies and gentlemen. That's where that's the meeting point between all of the different philosophies, spiritualities, techniques, and tools in this course. Is that bottleneck? Is that path of greatest resistance? And we're adjured to take the path of least resistance, but it is to arrive at what is on the other side of that greatest resistance, because that yields the greatest reward. I hope I'm making myself clear here. So when we come to an obstacle, when we come to a wall of resistance, when we hit a wall, first of all, we rejoice and we give thanks for hitting that wall. Second of all, we just allow whatever feelings are in our body to come, and we rejoice in those feelings as well, because it's proof that we're alive, and it's proof that we still have growth and improvement to do. For if we were perfect, there would be no life. That's why there's no perfection in this reality, or indeed in any dimension, because perfection would mean complete absence of movement and death. So when we run into an obstacle, rejoice in that obstacle. Know that the obstacle is the way. Know that that is like a torch illuminating your path, and then you take the indirect route, as we talk about in reality transurfing. And that is, you do not try to apply your inner willpower to get past that obstacle or to break down that obstacle. You need to move in a lateral way which means that you need to first get into the state of alpha, or into the state of feeling good on those higher levels of the emotional scale, and then either take inspired action, or if you're itching to take an action but you can't find the inspired action, do something that's non-intellectual that wouldn't be expected. And they teach this a lot in the martial arts. Like, for example, if a person is attacking you from a certain position, he expects you, there's a certain framework for how you would probably react to that. If you were to say, just turn around and go in the other direction, or come at him in a direction that's not in that framework that he would expect, that in itself may penetrate the resistance and may win you the fight. The same with if you're trying to get a project done and you keep running into a resistance or an obstacle, do something that's totally unexpected. Not expecting that that action is going to grant you success, because if you're holding on too much to that action needing to have a result, then this can't work. But the only way to get through or around a pendulum is to take an action that is not expected. When you do that, that's another way to get around this and to get things unstuck and moving again. So I just wanted to talk about that. These were just some random musings. Please, if you find value in our material, subscribe and like to our channel. We're also now doing coaching calls, and I did my first one on this platform, The Real Javier Novoa, today. It was a great call. The clients did book another session, and I'm going to be getting hands in the clay, personalized, crafted plans for your rapid lifestyle transformation. So I will be putting my email in the description so that you can email me regarding those calls. And we are going to be releasing a lot of new videos this week, getting into the specifics of how you can implement radical lifestyle transformation. So thanks for watching. With great love and appreciation, this is Javier, and I'll see you very soon.